Since you've been listening this far, we're going to throw in a little bonus hour. You ready?
How long is this bonus hour gonna last? I'm getting addicted.
No, let me tell you. I love this extra hour.
Everything is organic here on the bonus hour.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, yo, check this out. It's Wendy, man.
Here it is.
It's the bonus hour on the Wendy Williams Experience.
107.5 WBLS, New York.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So glad the weekend is here. I've been a bit out of sorts today because, I was supposed to go to Mimi's party last night. And when I said goodbye, I was going into the office to change my clothes. Nicole looked absolutely beautiful. We got her makeup together. And then I ended up saying, you know what? I can't go. You know why? Because while I was working all day, the final mix downs of the final last couple of cuts for Wendy Brings the Heat were being done here in Manhattan. And I thought that everything would be done by Mimi's party so I could be properly escorted, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do, to the party. And the final mix downs were not done. My escort was not available. He was in the studio. I was still clenching my booty cheeks with nervous energy because I knew that Virgin Records, who's been terrific, with this process, that's, my label. Virgin Records was looking for me to turn my project in today, by the end of the business day. Otherwise, they would be pushing it back. And my goal for this album was to have it out for some nice summertime music. So there'll be some nice summertime heat for the clubs, for your cars, for you listening at home, and for you to listen while you work out or whatever it is that you do, jog and whatnot. And I'm proud to say that earlier this morning at 2:30, I was presented with the full CD done. And if I had gone to Mimi's party, it wouldn't have gotten done. So I had to choose my priorities. And while Mimi's special occasion, it sounded fabulous and wonderful, and I was looking forward to going to the party and whatnot, I got bigger business at hand that, we fixed my bottom line. And if I hadn't turned in the CD today, then they would have probably pushed it back until, when do you guesstimate, Art? If June 28th, it's actually coming out now that it's been turned in, it would have probably been pushed back to August? Maybe another quarter. Maybe September, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe September. See, I wasn't looking for that. So, because I'm excited about this project, so I had to. And I'm happy to say that with hard work and diligence, not just on my part, but, on my executive producer's part, shout out to Question Mark Entertainment Headhunter. And all the artists who participated, I'm proud to say that I was presented with the final product at 2:30 this morning, and I listened to it in the kitchen, laughing, eating. I was up for hour, 2 hours trying to figure out video treatments. I mean, I was going through a whole creative process. Before I knew it was 4:00 in the morning. I'm like, damn, I need to go back to bed. Little Kev is going to be up in a minute, and I got to take him to school and get all into my Friday. So, I lost a couple hours of sleep last night, so I've been a little bit out of sorts today. But business-wise, I feel terrific. Physically speaking, I'm glad it's the weekend. I have to go out tonight. I got Lounge 42 in Mount Vernon. I'll be there with bells on. And then John Legend was up here earlier. He's going to be over at the Cherry Lounge in Harlem tonight. And so, there's enough nightlife to do both. So I'm doing both tonight. And tomorrow night I'm in Jersey City at the Gallery. I can sleep late tomorrow, though. Sleep late. Kiddo's old enough now that he knows how to go and get his yogurt, open it up, have that for breakfast, a handful of grapes, and, drink water. And we go to swimming at the Y. I've got my magazine ready for that. I'm going to read Harper's Bazaar, I think, tomorrow during his swim class. You know, the 66-year-old white lady who's been faxing and telling us a bit about her life here during the bonus hour. And yesterday I asked her a lot of different questions, like, it's been 10 years since you had sex, do you masturbate, and so on and so forth. Well, I'm glad to say that she's been hanging on to our every word during the bonus hour, and she faxed back, and here it is. Dear Wendy, I'm the 66-year-old white lady. Here I am again. Well, thanks for the advice yesterday, although I'm still in denial about the whole situation. If it would be too much to catch you up to speed, this will only take a moment for people who have been following her saga. Anyway, she says, I will give you a little extra information for thought. You asked some questions about my sexuality yesterday, and as I explained in my previous letters, I have not had sex in about 10 years, and I didn't have the desire to until I heard about my husband's affair. I have asked my husband several times since to have sex with me, but he refuses. I have to admit that I have put on a bit of weight, because I asked her, have you gained weight over the years? In other words, because I told her break out. I mean, she's, just break out. But you got to get yourself ready for your new life. Now, what's your situation? Are you sexually attractive? Are you, like that? So she's answering my questions. She said, I have to admit, I've put on a bit of weight over the years. I now wear a size 16, 18, and I'm 5 feet tall. Oh. And I'm almost ashamed to admit this. She says, I have stopped coloring my hair, so it's all gray, and I wear very little makeup. In the beginning, I used to masturbate, but not anymore. Excuse me, Arthur?
Nothing wrong with self-pleasuring.
No, nothing. But here's what she says. I was brought up in a home where sex was not discussed, so I guess I have a lot of old-fashioned ways in me. And no, I have no sex toys. I don't feel very sexy with my appearance, so I tend not to think about it. And Wendy, you are so right. I have to start working on myself, I guess. At 66, you get a little comfortable with your life. And I think after 26 years of being married to your mate, you think that you'll be there forever. Thanks again, Wendy, for all of your help. I have a lot to think about. Yeah, she stopped coloring her hair, stopped looking sexy. And, forget about at this point for the husband, but for yourself, And a size 16, 18 is not bad if you were anything but 5 feet tall. At 5 feet tall, Art, I give you permission. Hit the appropriate button. 5 feet tall, a size 16, 18.
My pleasure.
He says, my pleasure. I'm sorry, lady, but you see where we're going with this. At the very least, you know what? Start by taking those mall walks that you all take when you're that age. And I know because you're the same age as my mom. By the way, I was asking you a lot of those questions just to get more insight into my mother's own life. I can't ask my mom, does she have sex toys and stuff like that? I mean, what? I can't hear you.
No, I know you've been aloof all day and out of sorts, but I think I have something like put a smile on your face.
Okay.
We have a screensaver here on the computer that, is something...
Nobody hears you.
Something flashes whenever you're not using the computer. Computer's called a screensaver.
Yes, okay.
And this screensaver says 107.5 WBLS, the home of today's R&B and classic soul and the Wendy Williams Experience.
Shut up. They only put that on the screensaver because they know we look at it. Don't drop a bomb on that and stop clapping. Stop.
Oh.
That is a setup. Let me see where it says that.
I'll call you back. It hasn't even died down for a while.
You know why it says that. It says that because they know we sit here with the screensaver.
I thought the change was about to come.
There's no changes.
Oh.
Let me see all the liners in there. Let me see what it says at the end of the liners.
Well, I don't say it there.
When I say the WBLS Sure Shots are playing at, and at the end of the liner it says, courtesy of WBLS, today's R&B and classic soul.
Oh.
And then that's it. I have to add, and the Wendy Williams Experience.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, don't cry for me, Argentina. I will self-promote if I can't get cooperation. Anyway, mature woman. I wish you well. So you going to divorce him? Are you going to divorce him? Well, you got some thinking to do. You got to pick yourself up some hair color, though. At least start coloring your hair. Throw on a little bit of that makeup, that you mature women do. Even if you miss the mark and it gets on your teeth. I see my mother and her friends. Sometimes it looks a bit of a mess. But you know what? You give them an E for effort. You still say, work it, sister. You're working it. Sometimes their hair color's a little bright or a little off or, a little. But the point is that they still, coloring your hair, wearing a little makeup, it shows that you're still a sexual creature. Even if you're not having sex, that you still care about yourself. I wish you well. Stay in contact with the show. Hello.
Hi, Wendy. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
I'm Catherine calling from Monroe, New York, up in Orange County.
Uh-huh.
I just want to let you know I love your bonus hour.
Thank you.
Also wanted to know if and when New Edition was coming into the studio.
I am not sure, but I do believe this is the weekend that the New Edition special comes on VH1.
It is. It's coming on Thursday.
Okay, so it's next week, next Thursday at 9 o'clock, right? Behind the music?
Yep, something like that. They got a whole crew of fans on a website called neweditionfanclub.com that's really checking for them. We heard there was a rumor they might be retiring. I'm hoping that's not true.
No, it's not true, and Biv promised me an interview. The thing is, I don't want to do it on the telephone, trying to connect all of them together. I'd rather do it here in the studio where I can actually look at them.
Well, we will be anxiously waiting.
Well, thank you very much for listening.
I love your show. I listen to you every day.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And shout out to everybody in Orange County. Hello, hi, it's Wendy.
Hi, Wendy, what's up?
Welcome to the bonus hour.
Yeah, how you doing? This is Slay Lady.
Yeah, hey, Slay Girl.
You never heard, I didn't hear from you in a long time. Listen, Wendy, I want to tell, I don't know if anybody noticed this last week about Arnold Robinson. He was so happy when he won last week. He went to put his hand around Ryan Seacrest, and he dodged it. Like, don't put your hands around me. I don't want nobody to think anything between me and you.
Wow.
I said, wow.
Wow.
My sister hit me, and I looked at it, I said, wow.
Wow.
Isn't that something? So what's good, Wendy?
Well, it's the bonus hour, and I'm just running down the phone line, seeing what people are saying.
Okay, Wendy, let's go and see what's up. And I want to shout out to OBCC on Rikers Island, all the hardworking officers.
All right, and thanks for calling.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, hi, it's Wendy. Oops. Hey, it's Wendy.
Yes, Wendy Williams.
Yes, speaking.
Okay, Wendy Williams. You remember that bad breath old man that was at the Harlem YMCA? Remember when you were at the Harlem YMCA?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a old man that leaned over that had a beard and was talking to you?
Yes.
Okay, Wendy, look.
I was trying to play it off like I didn't remember, but how could I forget?
Look, Wendy.
Is that you?
Yes, this is me.
Because I smell your breath through the phone. No, I'm just playing with you, sir. How are you today?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
And marvelous.
Good.
And look, Wendy.
What?
You're going to be around for a long time. You're going to be on TV. You're going to be just like Oprah. Now, I'm calling you because I know you have the power.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You have the power. Now, my wife wrote 2 books. She's a doctor of psychology, and I'm going to email or either send you both of the books. Either I'm going to bring the books to the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
Okay, so you could see him and you could make my wife rich because you have the power. Of all the talk show hosts that I've listened to. I've listened to all of them, even the biased ones and everybody. Oprah and the whole 9 yards. Some people in this world have it, and you have it.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're going to have black people, white people, Chinese people, and everybody listening to you.
I appreciate.
Even though you're doing the hip hop stuff, you're real and you're deep. And nobody can nobody can say anything about you because you told everything.
Thank you, sir.
And you got a great setup. You got a husband, you got a kid, you got a father and mother that are still together.
Thank you.
You're a special individual.
Thank
you.
you.
You're going to go far, and you're going to help my wife get rich.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Apparently, he thinks that I can help his wife get rich because he thinks I'm rich. Or something. You know what I mean? Bring the books, and I'll just through them and see what's going on. No promises, just I'll just through them. A. Marie's coming through the show on Monday. I like her a lot. Always great stuff to talk with her about. Shout out to A. Marie. Thanks you for helping me with the CD, and Nas and Styles P and Demi. Shout out to Young Jeezy from Atlanta, Mario Winans, Jadakiss, Brooke Valentine, Jaheim, Renegade Fox, Marcus Houston, MOP. I love you, baby. Shout out to Brownsville. Dear Wendy, about your comments regarding J-Lo yesterday and the glass bottle. Well, Wendy, glass bottles are to ensure that no one has messed with the water, i.e. injecting e-pill juice through the plastic. The pinhole won't leak or be evident. Or she could be holistic and they prefer to store their food and drink in something or another products. All right, forget the holistic part. What? You're telling me that if you put a pin, inject a bottle of water that it doesn't leak? Did you know this, Art?
Like on the top part with a syringe, yeah. Because they don't fill it all the way to the very, very top. There's always like a little bit left. So, right, if you get right at the top and going down, it won't leak. Because anybody going to turn like this, they're going to be just like this,
Yeah, but you can inject it through the hardness of the plastic of the cap?
Oh, yeah. You get a syringe skinny enough and take your time.
The needle won't pop?
No, you got to take your time with it, though. And some bottles it'll close right up and you won't even have a leak because the syringe is so small.
Now see. You want to know what? Thank you. You've just given me another damn thing to be paranoid about.
Makes sense, though.
It makes absolute sense. You know what, Jennifer? You just keep divaing out. Because through your diva-ishness, you've just taught me yet another thing.
Yeah.
Glass bottles, please. Down. Oh my gosh. What's the top of the glass bottle made of? Plastic?
No. What's the thing? The foil, the hard foil. They do like the old bottles back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can't inject through that?
You can't do that, no.
You know what I can't stand? I can't stand when people bring you something to drink, whether you're at a club or, I don't know, it could be a book signing or anything. They line up waters for, the authors to, at the particular bookstore or something like that, or wherever, and they bring it to you and it's already open. I hate to, make trouble for anybody, but I always say, can you please, bring me something that's closed, and you don't have to bring a glass or ice, because I am already on to people freezing E-pill juice in ice cubes. I've never heard of it, but my mind goes crazy and cryptic, and I always think that for, all the wonderful people that come out and support, there's always one nut in the crowd who is trying to do you in.
Crazy.
Yeah. Gee, Mo, thank you for making me weirder than I already am. Shout out to you, Harlem Hottie. Yeah, that's why I don't eat the food that ever gets delivered here. And people send stuff, and you know what? It could be Godiva box with like Godiva strawberries and stuff like that. Reputable brand and so on and so forth. But there's just something about it. I don't know. And I'm very scared of being drugged. I know 2 people from my childhood who were drugged in college and have never been the same since. 2. Who are now in their 30s, and one of them is in his 40s, and both of them have never lived normal adult lives through being slipped drugs in college. And it's like the saddest thing. One of them I'm very close with. The other one, I know him through other people, but we know each other. Drugged one time and they've never been the same. They haven't been able to conduct a normal adult life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Very scary. Dear Wendy, I know how you love celebrity spottings. Well, I have a few for you. I went to Mariah's album release party last night, and here's who I saw. Denzel Washington, Misa Hilton Brim, Janice Combs, AJ from 106 and Park, Brett Ratner, Christina Milian, Kimora Lee Simmons, Macy Gray, Jay-Z, Chris Martin from the Jets, Benny Medina, L.A. Reid, Andre Harrell, Randy Jackson from American Idol, Butch Lewis, the boxing person. Let me see who else. Puffy, Howard Hewitt, Kanye West. It was great seeing them all, and while Kimora, Mariah, Denzel, Christina, Macy Gray stopped to give autographs and take pictures, there were no problems with any of them pleasing their fans, but their security was a problem, shouting and pushing people. That's from Tasha. Thanks, Tasha. I mean, I could have gone, I could have left the studio work for itself and gone with Nicole, who books the show. But if she started having a good time, Like when I go places and I'm ready to leave, I'm really ready to leave. And I didn't even want to put that, you know how it is, Art.
Where to go?
And I didn't want to put that off on her. Now, it turns out that she looked lovely when she left. And she got to the party, she said, like 9:30 at night. And she didn't leave until 3 o'clock in the morning. At which time, she was asked by some of the executives, who were there, "You're leaving so soon?" So soon. She said Mariah didn't show up until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and Mariah looked beautiful in all white, and when she left, Mariah was still there. So you see what I'm saying? From 9:30. Picture me staying at a party from 9:30 at night till 3 o'clock in the morning. I would have been drumming my fingers and all uncomfortable and stuff, and the bar was open. And the drinks, as opposed to giving me a good mood, would have only made me angry.
Sleepy.
Like anger juice and sleepy juice. Yep, exactly. And my date wouldn't have been with me, so it wouldn't have been the same. So Catherine Oxenberg, do you remember her? She's some sort of royalty or something like that. Daughter of a European princess, second cousin of Prince Charles. Well, she's about to and she used to be on Dynasty. Well, there's about to be a Lifetime reality series about her called I Married a Princess, exposing the stormy marriage that she and her husband have had to the public, warts and all. I like that. Warts and all, they are just putting it out there. Boy, she must really be desperate to be back in the limelight. She says, here's her quote, "My whole childhood was regal. I was taught you never air your dirty laundry in public and you never discuss your private woes. But now she's 44 and she's breaking all the rules. She hasn't been seen or heard from since Dynasty. But here's the stuff that they say you won't be seeing. You won't be seeing her talking about her childhood sex abuse. See? You won't be seeing them deal with her husband's addiction. And you won't be seeing them deal with her battles with bulimia. Well, they took out all the good stuff. What's there left to see? The fight over who picks up the kids from, childcare? I mean, that's nothing. No, I understand. I won't be watching. I just wanted to share with you guys. Shout out to Darnell Morris in Corona, New York. Darnell, you are overqualified for this job, not to mention you are already out of college, dear heart.
Wrong sex.
Well, not necessarily wrong sex. I mean, I like to call the interns now. Oh, by the way, Shakira, I've changed you all's names. You're not interns anymore because you're more than that. You're Girl Fridays. Yeah, it sounds better. Do you like that name better than intern? Girl Fridays. Well, Darnell wants to be one of the Girl Fridays, but I see that, first of all, he's done a bunch of internships. He's interned at a radio station in Garden City. He's interned at Fox 5 here in New York. He's interned in Deer Park, Long Island at a radio station. And he's already out of college. Well, one good intern is supposed to be, at least in my opinion, one good internship is all that you should need before going out there and attacking your career yourself. I'm turned off to people when I see you interned here, you interned there, if it has to do with radio. Now, if you interned at TV and now you want to turn radio, that's a different story. But if you're at a school, then everything gets negated. Darnell, thank you for expressing interest, though. DMX, everybody, his wife just delivered a baby girl named, what did I say her name was? Precious, it was one of them names. I forgot what it was. Anyway, on Monday. The point is that on Monday. And that is why he's saying, you probably read in the newspaper today, that he was speeding on the Major Deegan. So, I'm glad that he cleared that up. Lindsay Lohan's house in Los Angeles was broken into. The sheriffs revealed that the teen queen was a victim of a greedy burglar. One who had a taste for television and expensive vodka. Well, it was Wednesday, April 6th, when the thief stole more than $10,000 worth of electronic equipment at her house, including a couple of TV sets and DVD players and Drank a bunch of booze.
It was her father.
Yeah, maybe it was her father. And by the way, Dame Dash, still nobody's drinking Armadella or whatever. It was Belvedere vodka that they stole. Or drank from. They drank from it and left the bottle behind, so now the cops can use that to dust for fingerprints. Carlos Santana is being sued. The court documents are accusing Santana and his wife of firing a personal assistant named Bruce Coleman because of his age, gender, and religion to avoid paying him his $250,000 bonus. Well, geez, that's a lot of reasons that you're listing, Mr. Coleman. Age, gender, and religion. Well, I say all that to say, have any of the women in the audience purchased a pair of Carlos Santana shoes? I've actually seen pictures of them. They're rather cute. And the price is right. You know, the price is right. You know, his shoes, I'm walking to the fax machine. His shoes fit in with the season's, hot footwear for women. The rope espadrilles and,
You're saying Carlos Santana, the guitar
the Carlos Santana, the guitar player. Oh. They're called Shoes by Santana, and they're actually available right now. Shout out to Sachita McNair, who says, I just want to give a shout out to my friends and family in Asbury Park and Neptune and send my love to the Asbury Park Tech Academy of Dance. Very nice. Cold. Oh.
If you have a second now, you can see it now. It's up.
Oh, it's up? What does it say? Oh, shoot. Hold on. WBLS, today's R&B, classic soul, and the Wendy Williams experience. You put that up there yourself.
No, I didn't. I wasn't doing it. No, I didn't.
And there's an exclamation behind experience.
Yeah, because it's serious.
Whatever. I don't believe it. Do you think that's on everybody's computer saver?
I don't know.
Exactly. That is for right here in the studio because they know that we sit here on the computer monitoring. Throw the bitch a bone. You know what I'm saying? Put the mess on the screensaver.
Shut her up.
Yeah, shut her up, please. All right, so what else is going on, you say? Hold on. I got a bunch of stuff. I know it's the end of the week. By the way, did you hear about the middle school principal and his drunken escapade? All right. Well, this is in Newton, New Jersey. A middle school principal has just indicated allegedly drunk at a Jets game in 2004, molesting a 13-year-old girl on the ride home. Oh. Now, this is a middle school principal. His name is Frank Mobilio. Mobilio. Of Wantange, New Jersey. Well, he faces 1 count of criminal sexual contact and 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. Apparently, his indictment was handed up on Thursday, alleging his sexual assault of a girl who was not one of Mobilio's students in the backseat of his van, October 12th of 2003. 2 men and the 10-year-old were also, two men and a 10-year-old girl, another girl, were also in the vehicle. One of the men told the cops that he saw Mobilio drink at least 14 beers before and during the game and witnessed Mobilio expose himself to the girl. In the meantime, Frank Mobilio is 45 and married with 3 children. And he remains free on $20,000 bail and remains suspended from his job at George Washington Middle School of Wayne, New Jersey. If he's convicted, he faces the maximum of 6.5 years in prison. Not enough. Not enough. Here's another one. Let's keep it in school. It's going down. Glen Gardner, New Jersey. Discovery of a full bag of rotting animal parts hidden in the ceiling above the school lunchroom forced the closing of Voorhees High School on Monday. That's where Kelly Ripa went. The OBGYN who successfully brought my son into the world, his practice was in Voorhees. He's since gone out of practice because the cost of the medical, it was just all too much. And, I guess he socked away, a nice stash. He was a man of a certain age. He probably teaches now, professor of OBGYN someplace or, whatever. Anyway, you know how they discovered it? Well, officials said that the school would remain closed Tuesday to allow workers to sanitize the area and inspect the cafeteria. An unusual odor led to the discovery of decomposing animal parts that had been surreptitiously placed in the drop ceiling. The bag was found at 7:30 a.m. Monday. Students were dismissed by 11:55. Police believe the bag was hidden over the weekend and would not say what kind of animal parts the cops are investigating. Damn, I wanted to keep it in school. Because you got to know about these kindergartners accused of having sex. Oh. But you keep it where you've got it. More gossip and crazy what's-a-doozin' in our crazy world right here at the Wendy Williams Experience at the radio station that represents today's R&B, classic soul. Show. And if you watch my screensaver in here, planted by Art, no doubt, and the Wendy Williams Experience. Vorney comes up at 7 o'clock with the Quiet Storm on 107.5 WBLS.
Hi, everybody. It's the Biz Marquee. You're checking out the bonus hour of Wicked Wendy Williams.
Yeah. When did you know you made it? They ask a bunch of stars. And Carmen Electra says, I paid cash for my first Mercedes. I went from a Mazda to a Mercedes. Nice. So they're mulling over names for Britney Spears' daughter. I'm going to get to the school story in a minute. And they have a bunch of names here. Madison, Kiwi, Christina. That's not going to happen. Aguilera. Justin. That's not going to happen. Kevinella. Kevinella? What is that, to try to get your husband's name? Why don't you go with Kavina? That was the one I was mulling over until I realized it's a boy. I know that's ghetto. That's one of them names. but I was determined. The girl's name would have been Kavina. But I would have called her Kevin. I love a girl with a boy's name. It's a sign of strength.
I'm not hated.
You do?
I like feminine names.
I like feminine actions. It would just kill me if she was a, straight up tomboy. And I'm calling her Kevin. You know what I mean? I would want her to be the picture of femininity with a name like that. But Kevinella, go with Kavina, girl. Shout out to Vanetta Booker Brown in Bridgeport, who says the woman who was trying to get in touch with Jennifer Lopez, she could check out whorepresents.com. It's a database that lists the publicity information for well-known entertainers. Well, thank you, Vanetta. Whorepresents.com. Now, let's get to this kindergartner accused of having sex at school. I am shocked. A shocking story surfacing within the La Jolla School District. I don't know where La Jolla is, you guys. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, has many parents on edge. Police said 2 6-year-old boys were performing sex acts on each other on campus. There was... Oh, come on. Come on.
How you doing?
I'm gay. I'm a homo. I like guys.
I'm embarrassed. Why am I laughing at this crap? Come on. There was a police report taken on the incident that happened on April 1st. The alleged encounter took place with at the Emilio Zapata Elementary School. 2 6-year-old boys in question were performing oral sex on each other in the restroom. Minutes later, another 6-year-old student walked in and allegedly discovered what was happening. Later that night, he told his parents, who then reported the incident to the school principal. The following day, a police investigation was launched. Eventually, because of the age of the suspects, officers decided not to pursue the case. They say it was an isolated incident. However, La Jolla's school district leaders insist they took immediate corrective action. They said the parents of the students involved were notified. Counseling services were also provided for the kids. This has also changed Zapata Elementary's restroom policy. Children are now monitored when they go to the bathroom. If at all possible, students are escorted by the teacher, and if not, coaches. Coaches? The biggest offenders. Coaches and gym teachers. Keep them away. Coaches randomly visit the restrooms.
Actually, at that age, though, it's quite natural for kids of the same sex to like do stuff like that. Though it's natural.
It's like girls kissing each other and stuff. I never got involved in that, but it's a natural. You just don't want to hear about it, but it happens. Dateline Philadelphia. Art didn't even hear their story. He's embarrassed to say he's from Philly. He so wants to just claim Brooklyn or wherever you live. When's the last time you were in Philly?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, you're so in denial. A former salesman for the Philadelphia Eagles radio network was awarded $614,000 in a discrimination suit after being given a book that advised blacks selling to whites not to wear afros and African-style clothing.
That's crazy.
The Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission issued the ruling February 28th against Viacom and Infinity Broadcasting and the network's parent company. It's been a very tough road standing up for what you believe in, says Sean Brooks, 34. Do you know him? Oh, he's from a mixed-race family. He's 34. Supervisors at the radio network distributed an advice book called New Dress for Success by John Malloy. The book also advises Hispanic people doing sales to avoid any tonic that tends to give a greasy or shiny look to your hair that also triggers negative reactions. The author, the guy who won the lawsuit, Mr. Brooks, complained to a supervisor but got no response. He resigned less than a year into the job. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. But he got $614,000. What do you make of Michael Jackson? First of all, did you see the kid now that he's all grown up? Ew. I can't believe Michael's taste. Nobody cares?
Not about that. We just want to know if you're going to go to jail or not.
Yeah, but you don't understand. The kid who lives within listening range right there in New Jersey is now 18, and he's accused of seducing a 14-year-old schoolgirl in the basement of her home. Ooh. So you see? That lends to, did Michael, where'd the 18-year-old learn this behavior? Did he learn it from Michael?
Then you got to go back to where did Michael learn it from?
Oh.
Yeah, the drummer. On tour.
Or one of the handlers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The major domo at the compound.
Yeah.
Whoever consoled him when Joe beat his behind.
Ooh. The man who fed the giraffes.
Yeah, the giraffe feeder. That's a good one. Do you watch Meet the Barkers on MTV? I'm captivated. I watch.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's what I do on my Sundays. I look on Sundays to see what I missed all week on my channel VH1. Like, I still have yet to see Save the Music. There's one more fax before we get out of here. We got 5 more minutes. Wendy, darling, for those of you who love the name Kavina, check out Kavina.tv and have a good laugh. Go, Art, go. What is that? And why is it Kavina.tv?
Okay.
There's no, It's not .org, not .com?
No, they have a .tv too.
They do?
Yeah.
Go to Kavina.tv immediately. Thank you, Yannick. And I love your use of darling. I love that.
Animation.
It's animation.
It's loading up now.
Oh. Is it porn?
Yeah. It says Kavina TV animation.
Yannick, you know a toe is a toe here. So, dear Wendy, I would really appreciate it if you'd read this on air. Because I'm hoping that he's listening. Okay, here it goes. To make a long story short, my boyfriend, his mom, and his 3 sisters share an insurance policy on 3 cars. Come time to renew, mom doesn't have her money, so my boyfriend is a tightwad and says he ain't paying more than his share. Well, they all end up dropping the policy. This was in November. He parks the car up, and ever since then, he's been driving my car. Now, Miss Wendy, my car is not the newest car. It's a 2000, and it looks good, but I pay car payments of $350 a month, and my insurance is $216 a month. I own my own home. I pay all of my bills on time, and we do not live together. We have a few children together, however. She puts in parentheses, more than 3. I know you want all the details. Yeah, because that makes him way more than your boyfriend. And having 5 kids with him, I'll just round it off to 5 since you say a few, and more than 3. I'm assuming that's 4 or 5. Yeah, exactly, Lou. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. He has a good job and pays me $500 a month child support. Yada, yada, yada. He's very upset. He ain't paying for the car. That's what he tells me. And he can't, and he drives it like he wants, when he wants to. Does he drive the car for the purpose of taking care of you all's kids? Or is he driving it, listening to, the new game CD, leaning? And I understand you're fed up, but where you going? You ain't going nowhere. You got 3 kids. You don't actually end it with the final question, but I will say, don't call him your boyfriend. I mean, what is on Kavina TV? What is being laughed at?
Some stupid animation. I thought that was cool.
Are they doing anything towish?
No. The guy's eating a sandwich and drinking.
Oh gosh, I was following you with your sentence. I was going to be like, "Whoa, eating what?" He's eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
Let's get up to something.
Yanika, please. It's a fly, first of all. Yeah, take that off.
Okay. Let me set up a Vaughn.
And the Wendy's woman was a hoax. You guys heard about that. But that's a good little side job, not for nothing. Going to restaurants and setting them up, throwing stuff in the food, and but you can't do it too many times. You have to do it once, make it a good payday, and then retire. Because like this woman, Wendy's did their full-blown investigation, investigating the whole chain of how this chili got made, and was anybody missing a finger, or anybody in anybody's family missing a finger? No was the answer. Then they go into investigating the woman, only to find out she's done this same thing at restaurants several times before. So she was just looking for a payday. 1.5 inches of finger in her mouth.
The mistake was messing with a large chain as opposed to one little restaurant.
Yeah, but a little restaurant can't pay.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? The mistake was messing with little restaurants in the beginning of the caper. If you're going to do something like that, you hit up the large chain immediately. And then that way your argument is, I don't care what your workers said about nobody's missing it. Look, my back hurts, my neck hurts, and I can't eat chili for the, like that. Professional scammer. Now she got scammed. Good. All right, you all, I have to go. Vaughn's coming up the hall right now. It's time for the Quiet Storm. You guys have a luxurious weekend. I'll be at Lounge 42 tonight for the WBLS Friday night party. As for the grown and sexy, I'm going home to take my disco nap now. Shout out to everybody who's going to see Legend He's not performing at the Cherry Lounge tonight in Harlem. He's just going to be having drinks. And then tomorrow I'll be in Jersey City at the Gallery. So whatever you guys do this weekend, make it a safe one. Maybe I'll see you out in the streets. If not, I'll talk to you Monday at 2 o'clock. It's the Wendy Williams Experience every weekday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here on the radio station featuring today's R&B and classic soul. And, of course, we're giving away the money, honey. Your share of $100,000 returns bright and early Monday morning at 7:20 with the WBLS Morning Show featuring Paul Mooney. 107.5 WBLS. Bye.
The Wendy Williams broadcast day has completed.
Aw, man!
And WBLS music starts next.